Judge is our coach.
Yeah, sure, old-time hockey. Like Eddie Shore.
Yeah. Coach, our line starts.
Red Wing executive now, I guess. So Grand Rapids executive, Chris Chelios. Chris, thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
It was touched on a little bit about the collective bargaining agreement, and from a player's perspective and being involved in the last one, do you foresee, do you know of, are things changing? Is it going to happen, in your opinion, before next season?
As far as the particulars, you can't really talk about it. That's league policy. As a player, you fight for the players. As management, you fight for your owners. So, like I said, I haven't followed it as close as I did, obviously, when I was a player. And all I can say is the same as everybody else. I hope that we're playing on time next year.
And do you feel that with your participation in the last collective bargaining that, the management, the NHL, is listening a little bit closer than in years past?
Like I said, I haven't sat in on one meeting. That's all Kenny Holland. Jim Nill's probably gone, and the Red Wing lawyers. So it's not uncharted waters for me this time around, which is, like I said, it's different for me. But I prefer staying out of the politics.
If you're a player on the ice now, and I know you really can't talk too much about this because you heard the Crosby and the Flyer controversy, Mike Milbury putting in his 2 cents in there a few times. Do you feel that he may be a little bit more, there may be a little bit more players that are going to gun for him in the playoffs other than the regular season now that it is for the Cup?
Whether it's Crosby or any other player, the playoffs, there's no rules, anything goes, so no such thing as an untouchable. Unfortunately, Crosby's had that concussion issue, which no one likes to see anybody get hurt, whether he's your best player in the league or your role player. So, but without a doubt, it's going to be very physical. And like I said, everybody, there's the respect factor. You want to see that, but like I said, playoffs you're hitting. You're hitting to hurt, and you want the other team to know you're there. And that's just the way playoff hockey is.
Have you spoke to Ron Hextall lately?
Comes in on a harmless-looking play. Hextall makes the save, chopped it away, and here comes Chelios. Remember the offside, the intentional offside? Then look out, here he comes, Hextall, and he nails Chelios.
That's right, Bob, you'll see it right here. Here's Hextall, here's the stick and everything else at Chelios. Something that hockey really doesn't need with just 1:37 to go. He just comes charging out. You're right, Bob. He completely lost.
Oh yeah, when I see Hexie, always. I knew each other before the incident. Played against each other since we were 18, 19, and I've always liked Hexie. What happens on the ice, I've always been able to separate that.
And one last question: whatever happens on the ice, I'm glad you mentioned that. Now, your boys are old enough now to, get into the pros, minor leagues. Have you thought of playing with them in a game, whether it's at Grand Rapids, or is that thought crossed?
Never. It just depends on what point do they get. They still got another year and two at state. I always thought that maybe when they were turned ready to turn pro, that maybe in some capacity, whether it's assistant coach or being involved with them, I've never done that as a parent, so it just remains to be seen. But as far as playing, staying in shape, and if they get to the point where maybe they don't make it and they're stuck in the minors, who knows?
Well, hey, thanks for your time. You look great, boys and girls. Chris Chelios, USA Hall of Fame, legendary defenseman. Thanks again, Chris, for your time.
Thank you.
Take care.
Everybody is just on their feet screaming, Gill, 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 this is hockey!
That Money Shot presentation brought to you by Detroit City Production Company. Squeal like a pig, squeal like a pig. Ha 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 ha.